Strength Warehouse presents Go Heavy or Go Home podcast. I am your host, Nate Boley. In this podcast, we talk about strength, fitness, nutrition, and all things Strength Warehouse related. Hello, and welcome to episode 2 of the Go Heavy or Go Home podcast. I am your host, Nate Boley, and today we have Megan Boley here, and we're just going to go over how the beginning of Strength Warehouse started. So I'm just going to bring it off and introduce Megan.
Hi, I'm Megan, Nate's wife.
Co-owner of Strength Warehouse.
Yep, I'm co-owner of Strength Warehouse, and I am a trainer and still coaching quite a few group classes at the gym. I also do a lot of the admin work for the gym as well, alongside taking care of our 2 daughters.
That's awesome. I am Nate, the other co-owner of Strength Warehouse. I do a couple of one-on-ones, and I run most of the competitions, powerlifting competitions here. And my sole purpose right now for the gym is for marketing, sales, and vision of the gym. So yeah, Megan, when did you start weight training?
I very first started weight training in high school during track and field season. My father was my track and field coach, and he got us in the weight room, and that significantly helped my sprinting.
I can imagine, yeah.
Yes.
That's awesome. I started weight training. I actually did a little bit when I was in high school too, when I was in the football team. But I was way too small to continue with the football team, so I quit doing the weights and football until I was about 19, got out of high school and realized how weak and small I was, and so started training with my buddy in his garage.
Nice.
Yeah. When did you start powerlifting?
When I met you.
Wow, really? Yeah, that's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
You saw what I was doing and you're like, wow, that is amazing. I need to do that.
Yep.
That's exactly what you said.
We met at the gym, and I had always done strength training, but not free weight training. I'd always done machines, some small like dumbbells, but never barbell movements. I think I was intimidated and unsure of what to do with them. When I met you, you were doing barbell movements, lots of them. So you kind of introduced me to those. I had a big goal of squatting and deadlifting a big plate. So
A dinner plate.
Yep, a dinner plate.
The big girl plates.
The big girl plates.
Yeah.
And
Look at you now.
look at me now. Yeah.
When did you, so I guess I should say when I started powerlifting. I started powerlifting kind of not really knowing what it was when I was about 22. I was training with one of my friends over in Sisters at the Cascade Fitness. And we were doing squat, bench, deadlift, but I didn't really have any idea that it was powerlifting, and we weren't doing it in specific powerlifting stuff. I really started powerlifting when I moved to Bend and met some guys at the old Fusion Fitness gym, and they were training to become powerlifters and be in competition. So that's what kicked me off. I was about 20, just between 24 and 25 when I really started hitting the actual powerlifting stuff.
I think I was 25.
Yeah.
When we met.
Yeah. So same times, yeah.
Yep.
Same amount of time. Except for I'm a few years older than you. Awesome. How many competitions have you done?
I believe I've done 4 competitions.
You signed up for 5, but 1 you couldn't do because you were pregnant.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bummer.
Yep.
I think that I've done 9, I want to say. 7 or between 7 and 9. I can't remember how many exactly. I tried to count them the other day and I couldn't count them all. I couldn't remember. But yeah, I mean, if you consider all of the powerlifting meets I've done, referee, coached, or hosted, it's probably damn near like the 50.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I first started talking about the gym, what were your thoughts on opening the gym? Were you like, this guy's crazy? What the hell is he doing with my life?
Yeah, basically.
I forgot I'm not supposed to cuss on this either, so I'm sorry about that.
I just thought it was like a big dream that you had, which it was. I didn't know that it would come to life, I guess.
Fruition, or where we are now. Yeah, same here. When I actually when I was thinking about the gym, I was talking to my friend Kelly about it, and it was just like a pipe dream basically, and I didn't really have any idea how to get it started or where to start. And I remember him bringing us over, and we went through like hypothetical spreadsheets and like what money, dollars, stuff like that would look like, and then it really started to kind of like manifest in my brain, and just like wanted it more and more. And I was a mechanic before, and as I kept on, things were getting messing with my head or making me upset or whatever, I just kept on relying on that thought. And after thinking about it for several years, it finally came out, and here it is. Yeah. So awesome. How has lifting? Oh wait, no, sorry. How has your life changed now since leaving your traditional 9 to 5 and now you're a business owner?
So I worked 9 to 5 before. Now I work. What did I say?
Now you 24 to 24/7.
Yeah. So a little bit different there.
Yeah.
But it's way different. It is way different. It's much more fulfilling. I was a medical assistant for 8 years before, and I felt like I was just band-aiding people.
Totally.
And now I'm helping prevent those band-aids.
Yeah. No, I felt the same way when I was at Subaru. I was like, most of this stuff that I'm doing is like people aren't taking care of their cars, and I'm just fixing it and like fixing their car and sending them out on their way, but we're not teaching them how to survive and fix it themselves or prevent it at all. And that's kind of what I feel like we do that a lot here at the gym, where we're like, hey, the medical industry is absolutely necessary, but you can do a lot of things to keep yourself out of it. Work, 7 to 5 or whatever, doing mechanics and stuff like that, and just really band-aiding people's cars and throwing them out there for them. And now I'm able to help, change their lives. So
yeah,
that is awesome. All right. So what drives you to do what you do every day?
I think that the biggest thing that drives me is seeing the success of the gym and my clients in the gym.
Yeah.
One of my favorite is coaching powerlifting meets. So seeing someone successfully complete a powerlifting meet is definitely a big drive for me.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's actually taking you quite far now. You're going to end up going to Vegas for nationals this year with one of your clients. That's amazing. Yep. And then also England this next year.
Yep.
Which is pretty amazing as well, just to coach.
Yep.
That's awesome. Yeah. My powerlifting career or my coaching career has not taken me that far, but I haven't really pursued it that much. Most of the time I'm refereeing instead of what?
Or hosting.
Or hosting, yeah. Hosting or refereeing instead of coaching, which I enjoy both of those too. So that's not a huge thing. Yeah, awesome. What projects are you working on right now?
I coach a babies and barbells class at the gym, as well as like a secondary mom strong class for women that already did the babies and barbells. So babies and barbells is a class 2 times a week where moms can bring their 12-month and under babies with them to class. I cater the workouts specifically for postpartum women to help them recover from that. And then Mom Strong is kind of a next level. We go straight into barbell work. It's just a great class. It's a great atmosphere. The women really like it. It's a great community. And it's fun to have the babies there. And they can kind of be around other babies. Yeah, sure. It's a really fun class.
That's all the projects you're working on currently?
I'm also what we call the client success manager at our gym. So I work on creating a great 90-day journey for new members. So that's a big project of mine as well. I'm also working on my own postpartum recovery as well, and that's a big project. I didn't think it would take this long. It's been 2.5 years, and I'm still working on that. So
Probably be something you'll work on forever.
Probably.
Yeah. Once you've had a baby, you don't have your old body anymore. You got a new body.
Postpartum, you're always postpartum.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, some of the projects I'm working on is obviously this podcast, keeping that going. I've always heard that it's easy to start a podcast, but really hard to keep it going. I'm already feeling a little bit of the heat on that, but I think it's going well. Obviously, I'm always still working on my powerlifting stuff. I've got some records that I'd like to obtain or beat that I currently own. Always battling. I've been battling a knee issue for several years, still battling that, but it seems like it gets better here and there. And then it gets a little bit worse. So we're just kind of, playing that by ear.
Is a 2-year-old a project?
And a 2-year-old is definitely our project for sure.
And a preteen.
Yeah. And a preteen.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right. Well, so should we get into some Q&A for some of our members?
Yep.
All right. So let's see. The first one we have is from Corinne. And Kareen. I'm sorry. I always say it wrong. She's going to hate me for that. Anyway, to pre-workout or to not pre-workout, or to creatine or to not to creatine. And of course, how much protein. Those are always things that we always, we get here in the gym, quite a bit. What do you think on those?
Personally, I don't pre-workout.
Or creatine.
Or get enough protein, probably.
Yeah, for sure.
I struggle with all three. Pre-workout doesn't agree with my body. So
you drink energy drinks or caffeine or coffee, so those are technically pre-workouts.
Okay, well then I take it back. I do energy drinks.
Yeah.
I don't do creatine. And I don't love meat, so I struggle to get enough protein in my day.
For sure. My take is on that is I don't do usually pre-workout either. I have tried almost all the pre-workouts out there, and not saying that they're bad. I don't know. They just don't usually agree with my stomach either. Make me kind of feel weird. And then caffeine, high amounts of caffeine, obviously, or don't really work with me as well. I got to get like jittery later on, like hours after I've taken the protein or the caffeine. Creatine, I go off and on. I never really noticed a difference, but other people I've had tell me that I look bigger or whatever while I'm on a creatine stack. So it makes sense. It drives water into the cells, so there's probably a little bit of extra benefit and stuff like that. But if you're trying to cut down for a powerlifting meet or something like that, you definitely want to cut the creatine out on your water cut or whatever, so you don't hold extra water. But it's one of the most proven supplements out there, or not proven, but most studied supplements out there. There's definitely some good aspects of it. And I do eat.
What's it proven for? I guess what's the biggest
benefit of taking? Like water in the cells and to help create more hydration. And recovery is, I think, the biggest two that they've said that it does. Volumizing the cell. I eat a ton of steak, and there's a lot of creatine in steak, so I actually probably don't even really need to take a supplement on it. I do have a bag of creatine. I just don't usually. I always forget because it's kind of hidden behind stuff. How much protein? That's a touchy subject, but just for just for maintenance, probably around 1 gram of protein per pound of lean body mass, just to kind of maintain. This also just depends on who you are and what your genetics and stuff like that are. But I would say that's a good goal to strive to get is 1 pound or 1 gram of protein per pound of lean body mass. On to the next one, Mr. Kevin. Quick and easy nutrition options for busy professionals. Well, what do you think about that, Megan?
Good nutrition is not quick or easy.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say.
Sorry, Kevin.
You have to do the easiest, quickest way to do it is do meal prepping. That would be the best way to do it. Meal prep and then take it with you, because it's so much easier to go to your fridge or your backpack or whatever, your lunch pail, and grab out some food than it is to figure out what the best option is around you and then take off from work or have it ordered or whatever and bring it to you. But there's no real quick and easy way. I mean, you can get some like jerky if you want like quick, easy protein stuff. hard-boiled eggs. You can do stuff like that. Stuff that's really easily, packable. But for me, like I just like prep on Sundays, and I am the easiest person because I will just eat the exact same thing 5 times a day, 5 days a week.
For so many years.
And for years, like it's literally like I'll change probably once a year. I'll go from like steak to chicken, and then I like get sick of chicken like real quick, so I go back to steak. But the easiest you can make it on yourself is going to be the way that you're going to be successful in that the fastest. So find something that you can eat several times a day. And the other thing about it is mindset. Like if you're always thinking about food as being some like treat, or that you want to, it has to taste good, like you're probably going to struggle with nutrition. If you just have that mindset, like, hey, I'm eating food for health and I'm eating food for fuel, you'll probably do a lot better. And then eating food that you like over the weekends, or like as a treat, maybe for dinner or something, you can have once a week. You can have something that you like to eat per se. And I'm easy because I really like the taste of steak, so it's just easy for me that way. Not that I don't struggle with nutrition, but I think we all struggle with nutrition. All right, Ariel wants to know, what do you do on days you don't lift at Strength Warehouse? Of course, you can only lift at Strength Warehouse, right? There's no other gyms out there. So cardio, active recovery, extra lifting. What do you think?
So when I'm programming for clients, I like their 4-day-a-week strength training. So 4 days a week weights. On those other 3 days, I do not want them to lift weights. I want them to go hiking, go biking, stay active, but giving their body enough time to recover from weightlifting.
I would say the same thing. Like I'm 4 days a week strength training, and then other things that I enjoy to do, like hiking, mountain biking. And if it's in the middle of winter, I'm not a winter sports person, so I don't do that. So I come into the gym and do extra cardio stuff, or a little bit of extra movement here and there, just to keep my body going. Sarah wants to know protein-dense plant-based options. There isn't any. Sorry, protein only.
Not a neat question.
Go for it, Megan.
Sarah, we've had this conversation before, and I think that you're doing pretty well already. You've got the beans down. Beans are filled with protein. They're a good, dense protein source. It's plant-based. There's a lot of plant-based protein powders that are decent. If you throw them in a smoothie, it's hard. It's really hard to get enough protein if you're plant-based.
It is.
Unless you go like the tofu route and you're good at making that taste good. Otherwise, it's gross.
Yeah, there's definitely, I've tried some vegan protein or plant-based protein. It's like powder. They're not very good. But we do have one that's pretty good. It's Ascent. That one seems to be pretty good.
Yeah.
There's some other decent ones.
Doable. It's just a lot harder.
Yeah, it's one of those things you have to be really intentful when you're doing it. But you should just have some steak. It's my 2 cents.
She doesn't want it.
I know. All right, last question we have today is from Megan. Mm-hmm. How to lift confidently after an injury? And man, is this a hard one. But what do you think?
I'm asking you.
Oh, you're asking me? Okay. I am the king of injuries, right? Like I'm professional injury recovery, getting back under the weights.
I have a client right now who's struggling because she injured herself. And so getting under a heavy squat is very intimidating for her right now.
She injured herself like just recently?
Yes.
Yeah. So I would say the thing that I've done in the past is go see your PT right away and make sure you have a good PT that's not going to be like, don't squat. Like figure out how you can do it still. And maybe you, like my PT says, hey, maybe we're never going to squat to the ability you had when you're, in your early 30s, but you can still squat to the ability you have now. So working with them, making sure that you have solid movement patterns and you're not going to set yourself up for injury again. And then slowly getting back under the bar. That's the only thing I can say. I started out several times with unable to do a body squat, all the way back up to really close to 500 pounds, and then bam, back down to nothing. So it's just one of those things. You just have to continuously, what do they say, like, get back up on the horse after it's thrown you down.
I think it just mostly takes time.
It just takes time, and you have to have that like mental ability to be like, you know what, this hurt me before, but I'm not going to let it, control me, and I'm going to control it. I think that's the biggest mindset that you'd have to have. And then, like I said, having a good plan with your coach and then your PT, making sure that you're not going right back into the weight that hurt you or even close to it.
Agreed.
Yeah. Do you have anything else for our episode 2 with Coach Megan?
What's it like owning a business with your wife?
Oh my gosh. I feel like this is such a loaded question right now. And then like, I have the dagger staring at me like, don't mess this up. It's actually very fulfilling and also very frustrating at the same time. But again, having the right people around you and the right people to talk to, we have some great mentors that help us with that avenue, and we can talk to them about it. And then just being really open about what you want and what you expect from your significant other when being in business together. And then being okay with the other one, like not wanting to do everything that you expect them to do. Like, I've got more of a drive for the gym than Megan does at certain areas of it, and she's okay with where she's at, and I have to be okay with that, and I am. So I think that's probably the biggest thing. Is it can be frustrating, but just remembering that we're two separate people. We have two separate goals in life and drives, and what drives Megan doesn't necessarily drive me, and what she's into I'm not necessarily into. And keeping the lines of communication 100% open and not being judgmental. But then having the whip there just in case.
Right.
Nice. Well, I definitely want to have you back on, Megan, and I want to go into more about the babies and barbell ones. Maybe in a few episodes we can talk more about that, and you can go into like what the program looks like and all that type of stuff, and who's it fit best. I don't know. We can make up a little bit of that. But any signing off remarks, questions, or anything that you want to let out to the world? Nope.
Pray that my 2-year-old starts to sleep.
Yeah, me too. You guys can all pray for us there. We love the questions. If you have any more questions, please shoot them our way. You can message us on Facebook, Instagram, or send it to our email, info@benstrengthwarehouse.com. And we thank you a lot for our episode 2. Stay tuned for episode 3. All right, later, guys. Thanks for joining us on this epic journey of strength. If you liked this episode, please leave us a review and share with a friend. To stay connected, hit that subscribe button. All right, until next time, go heavy or go home.